It's a Thanksgiving Billy Ho special. Stakes racing action at Churchill Downs. Let's eat. Hello, welcome to Billy Ho Sports. So, the Fall City Stakes and the Cardinal races 10 and 11 is what we're going to hit for Thanksgiving Day because we know we're going to be spending time with family and friends and everything. But we are going to do a $35 split the pot wager where I place a bet for $35 on your behalf. We split the winnings. So I'm really hoping the Billy Ho faithful out there can get us to that 3,500 subscribers. We're just a few short, so just subscribe, like, pass the word, share it, all that stuff. Let's jump right into the Fall City Stakes. Okay, race number 10 is the mile and an eighth Fall City Stakes, graded three. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. Very good field here. We'll start number one, Chilled. Vicky Oliver trains this 4-year-old gray. Recent outing at Keeneland, going a mile in the 16th. She put it on, as you can see. She put it on the favorite, Our Pretty Woman in that race. Our Pretty Woman was like a 1-2 favorite. Didn't even hit the board. So she looked really good in that one. I won't hold the spinster against her. I think that was a really tough field. Gin, Nitrogen, and Scylla. You know, we saw what Scylla did in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. So, and Gin, very good horse. Obviously, Nitrogen. So, Chilled is a horse that I think we could look to for some verticals. You could take a shot vertically. Should be double digit odds, I would bet, but a good solid exotics filler, in my opinion. Now, Raging Sea, this one's the one you'll probably have to make a decision on. Speaking of drifting out to sea, this one, since the La Troyenne win, you can see her last two efforts have been awful. Going back to the Ogden Phipps grade one as well. Now, she was bumped and squeezed and had some bad trips in that race. But she got off slow in the personal ensign and just fell way behind. I mean, you could give her the sloppy track excuse for the Ogden Phipps, but she just really hasn't run back to her form she had previously in her career. So, not much better in the personal ensign. She blew the brake there and just got way too far behind. She's better than what she's shown, but I don't know what to do with her on form. You know, if she's taking in a lot of money, then maybe somebody knows that she's coming back fit. In Just My Heels is going to be a toss. I like the name of the horse. Ran really well in that 100K claimer. This one right here, last out. So very good effort there, but more of a Lowndes Company type horse. Last time she tried graded stakes at Churchill Downs, the Shawnee, she got beat by 12. And there's two of those horses in this race. So there's just too many better than her. So Alpine Princess will be the first one I'm really interested in. Obviously, the connections, Brad Cox and Jose Ortiz, all there for you. Locust Grove, Shawnee. Just a hell of a good Churchill Downs record. Three starts and in the money, all three. She's got all three covered. So let's go back to the win for this one. So she also beat Our Pretty Woman at Ellis Park. She's picked up 3 seconds and 2/3 against tougher company. The Locust Grove, Irad Ortiz had her chasing rival Royal Spa, but just fell a little short. But we are adding an extra bit of distance on this one, so that could be interesting. Quiet Side, another one that kind of fell off some form. Or what I think maybe if you can see the highlighted Fantasy and Honeybee, both at Oaklawn Park were her two big efforts. But she did run a solid goldenrod as a juvenile and a couple of good stakes at Keeneland and Saratoga as a juvenile. But I'm wondering if maybe she was just ahead of the curve as a juvenile. And then things started catching up with her after the Oaks, because that's when a lot of horses mature and start getting better. And she was off the entire spring and summer where all her rivals were training and getting better. So she comes back to Keeneland in the Raven Run and shows absolutely nothing. So second off layoff, obviously, returning to a route, obviously, but I just don't think this one's going to be in play for me. Neon Icon, another one I'll probably pass on. Oh, for 2025, just one placing, weak speed figures, low T jockey and Torres. So let's go to Royal Spa, the now horse. This one obviously tearing it up down this. I mean, just all the way live in this one, and plus probably the best record at Churchill Downs: 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. Brissette Tyler Gaffleone hooking back up, the winner of the Locust Grove. But I don't know if she's going to get that kind of trip again where she was just perfectly placed inside and then shook free in the upper stretch on a bit of a slow pace and cranked it out down the stretch to win by a length and a quarter over Alpine Princess and Regaled, who are obviously both in this race. So Royal Spa seems logical, but we'll have to check the tote board on this one. Could take money, could not. So standout sensation is the interesting one. We'll talk about in a second because picking up jockey Jose Ortiz, who I believe brother. Well, we'll talk about that in just a second. Third off layoff, 24% for Amos. That's really good. Highlight that for you. And not very good in the graded stakes ranks. That's the other thing. But all these good right here, sharp workout and all that stuff, definitely stuff to keep an eye on. I mean, really good 5 race stretch here with 4 wins and a second. Moving up in class, obviously, but I think the take charge Indy Philly is up for it. Jose Ortiz could take him to the house on this one if the horse is ready to rock. So keep an eye on that one. He chose to ride this one over his brother's horse. Corningstone. Thanks for stopping by. Comes in with a win in 3 places in 6 starts at Churchill, back-to-back stakes victories at Horseshoe. Stepped up versus what she'll face here, but could not compete, finishing 9.5 or 9.25 back in the Locust Grove down here. Then came back and fired off a pair of wins at Indy. So more of the Indy Horseshoe, not the Grade 3 Shawnee, where she was beating 7 there. So I'm going to pass on that one. And here's Regaled. You can see the speed figures that I highlighted for you. Just monster racing by Whit Beckman. And I love that he's keeping Joe Ramos aboard this horse when a lot of other trainers could have bounced and went another direction. But he's really trying to stay loyal to his guy here from Turfway Park. Definitely looking at this one for an exotics play, but also if there's any chance of an off track, we have more rain this week. We had a muddy track last weekend, and there's more rain this week, and it's cooler temperatures. Could be very cold this weekend. I haven't fully checked, but she's definitely a win contender. She ran in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, finished in third. That was that monster race by Scylla Nitrogen, 1-2, and she was 6 lengths behind them. But that's probably 6 lengths better than most of the field here. So I like that one. So to sum this race up, I'm going to keep an eye on the tote board on this one. But if the number 4 Alpine Princess presents the value I'm thinking, Irad Ortiz aboard, I think I'm going to give her a big shot to upset the field. And she's going to be probably third choice on the board, I'd say, behind Regaled and Royal Spa. So Alpine Princess for the win. Value play, exotics, 1, 7, 8, 10. Let's jump over to the Cardinal and put it together. Okay, we're going a mile and an eighth on the turf. Race number 11, the Cardinal 300K listed stakes. Excellent field here. We start with last year's defending champion, as you see by the highlight there. Duvet Day won this race with a monster closing effort into a little bit of a sexy pace there, +7, +8. You can see this one has had the benefit being a closer of some pretty fast paces where he's run quite well in some good stakes races. And then when the pace fell off, like in the ladies marathon here, going a mile and 5/16 at Kentucky Downs, she was not able to close any ground there. And the dough wager, a little bit of pace, but not much on a yielding mile and a half race. Now, this is a significant drop in class and a significant cutback in distance, going from 12 to 9 furlongs. So we'll see what Duvet Day comes with in this one. Obviously, the 6-year-old mare has already proven her mettle in this race before. Similar trajectory coming in too, with running at Kentucky Downs and then coming on here. Miwa, a horse I really wanted to like, the closer, double dipped at Kentucky Downs. You can see the 2 races here, one and the other, and finished in third, but then bounces back. Sometimes the mile and a half distance just doesn't suit all the horses, but this one has had a couple of duds going a mile and a half. So now cutting back to a better distance, has some wins down in her past, going a mile and an eighth, like in this one, this right here was a mile and an eighth on a soft track. Maybe firmer track or firmer turf might be better for this one, but I'm going to pass. Lucky Speech also probably a pass here. Toss, awesome check, had a recent stakes win, as you can see. Sharp workout, inside pocket trip from Santana, could get that again in the 4 hole here. So missed by a length and 3/4 in the Athena, wins the Yaddo. Nice 2025 season, 6 for 6 in the money. That makes me want to take her for exotics with upside. So keep an eye on the 4. Stylish Sue is another one. Even though I'm not hip on Jamie Torres as a jockey, this one has just a really good record. And I gave Torres his props. I wasn't going to do anything with this one, and then I looked down, and Torres has back-to-back wins on this horse, and those come few and far between from a guy who wins less than 10% of his races and just doesn't get the high level mounts that he deserves, maybe. But one that I would probably consider for exotics, second off the layoff, Sharp is really good with that. So even though it is a downgraded jockey, the jockey has experience on the horse. So we might give her, and depending on the odds too, could be like 12 to 15 to 1 or something. So keep an eye on that one for some value. Then she's looking lucky. Nailed it the wire by Dude that day in Cardinal last year. She came out of the second place effort at Kentucky Downs quite well. Almost got it done wheeling back at in October at Keeneland, going a mile and a 16th, missed by a length. And I like how she's followed the similar path. If you could see the races leading up to the Cardinal, the 2 races at Churchill Downs, she had a couple races at Keeneland down here before, and then she did the same thing, Ellis, Kentucky Downs, and on up. So similar trajectory, trying to fire off the same results. It's possible. Wouldn't count her out. She's got 2 seconds and a third, so she's hit the board in all 3 Churchill Downs races. Weighted average, gonna be a toss for me. Beating just a nose in two recent efforts, and then the big 9 length maiden win. But 9 cracks or 8 cracks at a maiden is not good. Now this is the other Torres, Christian Torres. So the one time he rode this horse, he was terrible. So we'll let's get to the girl. This is the one. Pinup Betty, horse for course, 4 wins and a second and 6 starts at Churchill. Her only bad race was a troubled trip in the Miss Revere down here underneath last year in November, right around this time. So coming up for the Cardinal this time around, going a mile and an eighth. She's dominated better horses than this. Drawing a line through the Kentucky Downs race. I think she came back and acquitted herself very well in the First Lady. She was only beaten 3/4 of a length in that race as a 20 to 1 dog. So stretching out a little bit more, this she's going to get it done here. I feel pretty confident about her. Probably my best bet of the day if you had to ask me. But then you have, I'm guessing Vive View. Not sure, but Sharp and IRAD hook up. You can see all the good things I've highlighted for you here. Very good efforts. One bad one at Kentucky Downs. Draw a line through that. Class Relief, IRAD Ortiz. Riding on the turf. IRAD is just deadly at these turf routes on pressers. So he's going to be coming, no doubt. So a little bit outclassed by Pinup Betty. That's why I give her the edge. Then you have Fleetingly, which you always have to pay attention with Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt hookup. Last effort at Keeneland got there 2 lengths back, a little bit late on the rally, but had to steady a little bit in that race. So the speed figures are a little weak. So are the pace figures. So if she does get a little bit better pace, then she's going to be tough. Now I'm going to have to be looking at the odds boards on this one, the popular turf play, and we'll keep an eye on the odds there. But she's definitely the second choice. Proctor Street is worth consideration. Brendan Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone, great connections, 18% over the last 60 days, 58% in the money, positive ROI. All those things look really good. Win last out also looks good at Keeneland, coming over off the break, second off the layoff, winner last race, all that kind of good stuff. So an exotic skews, I'd say 4 wins and 7 lifetime starts is pretty solid. So gotta love that. Then you have Adrasteya, guessing on that one, and Proctor Street next. Actually, Proctor Street, I'm gonna skip. Just didn't like the recent result. Well, the recent results are good, but the class jump's going to be tough. That's Walsh and Gaffleone there. So Proctor Street, I believe I was talking about Fleetingly, and then went to Proctor Street. So tracked the pace in 8th place, and then took over the lead at the top of the stretch. Previous to that, the Perfect Stranger at Saratoga was beaten favorite by a length. Dynamic Pricing, who's a tough horse. So tough ask for this one too. But then we go back to this one. I was Adrasteya. Not sure. I think I pronounced it two different ways both times. But owned and trained by Farragus. Good 93 speed figure in the last one, but this one I just think's outclassed by a mile. So I'm not gonna waste any more time on that one. We'll shut it off there. Like I said, I'm taking Pinup Betty for the win. She could be a key horse, but I might do a key box. But either way, if you key the 8 with 1, 5, 9, and 10, that's what I'll probably go with right now. I'll be looking for value. Hopefully she doesn't get bet down too far, but I'll take her for the win. And here's your daily double for races 10 and 11. Check back check back Thursday post scratch for any adjustments, and I might toss up a late daily double with races 11 and 12. So this one's races 10, race 11, $2 daily double. It's 4, 7, and 10, which is the three top horses in the previous race. The God, I can't believe I just forgot that. What a fucking brain fart. Fall City Beer. 4710. Cardinal 89. So $2 daily double, 4710 over 89. That's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, for the Thanksgiving split the pot draw. Let's get that 3,500 subscriber mark so I don't have to place a $34.97 bet. Just kidding. Click that like button on your way out. Subscribe. See you soon.